has your journey been on social media like? Like, has it always been rainbows and butterflies? Like,
To go from like 10,000 followers to over 200,000, and then again, like I doubled it from 300 to 600, that was so overwhelming to me.
What happened to you, I think it's probably happened to all of us, and in a similar way where
like it kind of only happened when it happened, and prior to that, there was absolutely no indication that it was going to go anywhere.
you're so good at what you do too. Like, you are so fun and relatable. What has your journey been on social media like? Like, has it always been rainbows and butterflies? Like, was there, things you regret doing or issues you've come across in social media? I think people like to hear that stuff because when you're a follower, you just see, the highlight reels and you see the bubbly side of things. But
Yeah.
I would love to get real with you and like hear about your journey being on social media.
Yeah. Well, it certainly wasn't like an immediate success. When I graduated, I was unemployed and living at home, and I would work on posting content for like 16, I would work on content related things 16 hours a day. And I would gain like 3 followers, lose 5. I was absolutely no indication that it was going to go anywhere. So I really recommend to anyone trying to do this, you got to do it because you really enjoy it, because there was never a point where I was like, this is going to work. Like, it kind of only happened when it happened. And prior to that, there was absolutely no indication that it was going to go anywhere. I think I spent like almost a year with absolutely like no growth whatsoever, no kind of trajectory. And you just kind of keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And that's what, consistency builds community. But if you don't do it for wanting to speak to a community, it's not going to ever work. But that's one thing for sure. And then, yeah, there were definitely highs and lows with it. And I mean, learning how to balance doing it with my life. I got to this place where I wanted to make everything content. And then also when I first got super popular and I got all these followers at once, actually, which really was amazing but stressful. I decided to make this ad about myself on TikTok, essentially. And I was like, hey, I'm Sarah. If you found me, this is what I do. You should follow me. And no one was really doing that. And that really worked. And so I gained like 200,000 followers in a night.
Oh my God. That's insane.
Yeah. And then I did it again. A few months later, I was like, why don't I put out another ad about how you should follow me? The same thing happened. So, to go from like 10,000 followers to over 200,000, and then again, I doubled it from 300 to 600. That was so overwhelming to me. And then I started to respond to every single DM I ever received because I really wanted to like give everyone advice. And that's kind of where I learned to stay in my own lane. Like, even though I was so well-intentioned, I was speaking about things that I technically wasn't an expert on, giving people advice on skin conditions and things like that, because I was just really wanting to help people. But again, that's when I really learned, like, I have no place doing that. And I can still be so valuable to people, but keep it, as a Sephora advisor, this is my sphere of expertise. I'm going to help you figure out like what products do what for who and when. And, yeah, I just, speak to my experiences, what I've tried. And I think that there was one moment where I even spoke about fungal acne, which is not the medical term for what that is, but I was so well-intentioned. And I think one dermatologist, and I can't even remember their name, got so mad at me. And they made a whole video about it and how, I have no place in the skincare industry. And that video got like a lot of traction and a lot of people agreed. And I was devastated. And I think that was a really good learning experience for me. I actually reached out to the dermatologist and I apologized. Which, honestly, like, I think that there's a wonderful place where you can educate in the world without really tearing other people down, especially if you can tell they're well-intentioned.
Totally.
A lot of people lie on the internet to make money. That's true. But I think that there was a place for someone sending you a private DM or just letting you know. But that's not what happened.
Yeah.
And it was a good wake-up call.
Yeah.
They ultimately didn't really accept my apology, and I had to just make peace with the fact that I'd ruffled some feathers. And then I kind of reflected about, why am I doing what I'm doing and what am I wanting to bring to people and what do I want to help them with? And it was a good learning experience. And then I realized, I can just stick to talking about products and my own experiences. I don't need to help someone with acne. I've never actually, helped someone target their acne. Yes, sure, I've recommended them a routine that works great, but I'm not going to tell them what kind of acne they have.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it was great. I was just inexperienced. I was trying it all. And that's kind of how you learn. But, you know, on that note, I will also say, like, you know, I'm not perfect, and I've definitely made mistakes or said wrong things, but I think that some easy ways to tell if somebody is wanting to put good information out there is who's following them. You know, are dermatologists and chemists and people that you respect following them? Like, are they mutuals online? And also, has that person corrected themselves before? Because I've been corrected by a friend of mine. And I then put out a statement being like, hello, actually, it's this. Thank you so much to this person for letting us know. So, you know, that's really important too when you're following someone who's not necessarily a dermatologist or a chemist. Are they honest about their credentials, and do they admit when they've said the wrong thing? Those are like two really key things that I would say are indicators of someone wanting to put out good information. Yeah. Oh, and some regrets? Yes, absolutely. There was this one video I made and I thought, oh my God, I'm a genius. Why hasn't anyone talked about this? In 2022, I made a video about putting sunscreen in a cushion compact. So I bought an empty cushion compact. I put the sunscreen in there and I was like, I am a genius. And then I learned, of course, that the reason that people don't do that is because sunscreen really needs to live in the container that it was designed in, or it can destabilize and you won't get the sunscreen value that you thought. So you could do that for like one day. You know, if you're going to go somewhere, you can put it in that day. But after that, you're not going to be able to use that sunscreen compact anymore. And I think it was my friend Ramon, Glow by Ramon, who's so smart, who told me, hey, I've got bad news for you. So, you know, yes, of course, there's definitely been times where I thought I discovered something amazing, and then I turned out that's why we can't do that.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
I mean, it's crazy how humbling social media can be.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but also I think I love everything that you said. I think I really appreciate your attitude, and I think that's why we love you. It's the fact that you are so professional, but in a positive way. I mean, the things that you've said about being in this space, you know, like what happened to you, I think it's probably happened to all of us, and in a similar way, where, you know, whether it's with somebody else in a different profession or even our own colleagues. And I wish there would be like a more collegial environment where we can all collaborate and share information and opinions, because a lot of it too is not so much the medicine but the art of skincare, right? So I love your attitude, and I think that's why you're gonna have a long career in this space.